Thank you. Un más. Grazie.
Had a strong urge to drink my cider. Oh, not do it. It's too early in the morning.
Babe, no, good.
I was just looking at it like, you know, so tasty.
It was so tasty, but...
I want that triple drink.
But...
Remember that Dave Chappelle joke?
No.
It was this, like, Sunny D commercial. Remember the Sunny D commercial where it's like, we got some, like, some orange stuff, some purple stuff. Sunny D!
I do not remember this commercial. Morning, Anya.
Well, Dave Chappelle had a joke about that commercial because most people our age have seen it. Like the Sunny D commercial was like the kids like rooting through the fridge and he's like, there's some purple stuff, some blah blah blah. Oh, Sunny D, and all the kids are like. Anyways, there was like this one black kid in the commercial, and Dave Chappelle's joke was like. He's like, if you pause that commercial and look at the black kid, he's like, oh, I want that purple stuff. I don't know why, that joke's always stuck with me. I want that purple stuff.
I must tell you that...
To be fair, I want that purple stuff too.
Yeah, no, the purple stuff is delicious. I did not see commercials until I was an older child. There is a story my mom likes to tell about the first time we were up at that cabin I was telling you about in Arrowhead, and I went to go watch something apparently, and I turned it on the TV, and part of the way through a commercial came on, and I guess I was like 3-ish or something. Whoa, did that get turned back on? I thought I turned it on.
It's like down like nothing.
Oh, you turned it on. Okay, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then...
We had like a very small layer, but I didn't turn it on.
That's okay. It should auto turn off when it fills, to be honest, but it does not.
It's supposed to like fill up the lights and like push it off.
Yeah. No, it doesn't do it. But I guess I saw the commercial and I like screamed and I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, somebody took over our TV. Because it wasn't what I had like intended to put on. And she was like, honey, those are commercials. I was like, what's a commercial?
This is your mom's fault.
Yeah. No, I am my mom's fault. What do you want?
I have my mom's fault. It's
I am.
You made
I am my mom. Whoa, that was sort of violent.
No, well, they were connected, and that if I threw them into the thing, they would break apart, which they did.
Yeah, they did do that.
So it wasn't violent. It was purposeful violence.
Look at all that foamy foam I made you. You're welcome. How's everyone doing this morning? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to neglect you all. We were talking about commercials. Apparently, also the first time I saw a sidewalk, I was 4.
I don't know. What does that mean?
That's what she says. She says, I didn't see the sidewalk until I was 4.
Were you allowed outside?
Not really.
Why?
Because my mom was super overprotective and very scared that the world was going to eat me.
Has the world tried to eat you?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh, babe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It might be the source of some of my anxiety.
Not seeing sidewalks?
No.
Did you see a sidewalk?
No, not the sidewalk. The like being told that the world is going to destroy me.
No, that's not nice.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't tell your kids that.
Michael just messaged me what happened.
Shh. We're on live, babe.
Uh,
Let's not get into that. Yeah.
It's true. I know someone named Michael. Track me down.
It's a good name. One of the main characters in my book is named Michael. Except.
What does everyone think of Secret Santa?
Oh no.
Oh, sorry, babe. It's true. You did do that.
To do what?
Made one of your characters Michael. That's very nice.
I did. But we call him Mikey.
That's true.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can do that. Let me pour the coffee first, Becca. I know what you're talking about.
I just want it for my own.
More than you could ever know. All I want for Christmas is.
Ooh, wow.
That's what she has don't want a lot for Christmas. That, I mean,
That's the song that comes after, right?
yeah, it is. Whatever.
Great song.
Anyway,
Sing that one too.
it's a great song. That's not even on my Christmas playlist. How dare you? It's an insufficient playlist if that's not on it. Wait, you know what I'm talking about, Doubtful? Apparently it makes them smile. Oh my god! Oh my god! Hello! What, you guys? Wait. Slimy Pickle is here. Hold on. Wait, we have a pickle slime. Hold on. Whoa. This is crazy. So, like, she's like an OG Slimer from, like, way back in the day, you guys. She didn't make pickle slime. She just, like her username was Slimy Pickle. Slimy Pickle, you would be thrilled to meet all of these people because most of these people have pickle slimes. Oh my gosh, do you want one of my pickle slimes? Stop it. Hey Ghoul, how are you, darling? You feel like you've heard me speak of Slimy Pickle? It's totally possible. Slimy Pickle is like an OG. Like, we're talking like way back in the day kind of Slimer. It's amazing. We all love our pickle slimes. Yes. Hello. Oh my gosh, Mina sometimes, or you would know her as Amanda. The Slime Hive comes on here sometimes too. Oh my gosh, you guys, we've got an OG Slimer in the house. That's amazing. What an amazing, fun happenstance. So random. I know. Yeah, Mina comes in my lives all the time. I'm good. This is my Christmas tree. And I hope you like it. This is book club. Yes, a celebrity is with us. I know, it's so cool that you brought here by the FYP by accident. That's so fun. This is book club. In the morning we do reading and stuff. Just like it's a whole thing. We're a whole thing now. Dude, you missed so much. The slime world has changed infinitely. That's so wild. TikTok is creepy but amazing. It's a Christmas miracle. It is a Christmas miracle. That's so cool. You'll have to DM me so that we can chat. We are a thing. Yes, we are a thing and a half. That's right, Shelly. We are a thing and a half. Well, it's kind of fun that you came into book club instead of one of the afternoon like slime lives, because the afternoon slime lives I probably wouldn't have like been able to like talk and see everything because they get a little crazy. But this in book club, there's just like a tight group. I tried to just now, Liz, and it's not letting me. I have to do some Googling on how to do it. But yeah, so I know. I went into the settings just now. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Hold on. Oh, I do. I found it. Hold on. Boop. Boop. Did it. Done and done. My parents don't want me to keep their signed rent poster. Shelly, you take that poster home with you. You take that poster home with you right now. You leave their house and you tell them they're an abomination to God and their country. Okay, well, you send it to me then, and I will keep it here safe. How dare they? How dare they? A signed rent poster.
Oh, who signed it?
The cast.
Which cast?
I assume the original cast. Who signed it?
Gerald Ford.
No. Not him. Oh, Anya, thank you so much for saying that. You're so sweet. Becca goes, I signed it. It's worthless now. Becca, your humor makes him laugh every time. You and Shelly just like tickle something in Secret Boyfriend's humor funny bone because he smiles like a genuine laugh with your stuff all the time. I looked over and that was like a genuine smile. Yeah, exactly. Liz will take it. Sheesh. Liz is like, I'll hold it for you. Who signed it? Tell us everything, and then we're gonna read. It's the snarkiness. That's what he does with you. Yeah, it's true. It is what he does with me. Are you a snarky pants?
Snarky? Am I?
I mean, you know, I recognize literally 0 signatures on this. Well, what poster is it? Like, what era poster is it? Send me a picture of it, Shelly. I will detect the signatures for you, and we will determine its worth, and then you will bring it home with you. They will not throw it away. These are not the droids you're looking for. We're about to smoothie dance, you guys. Is everyone ready? Get your dancing emojis and dancing shoes on. You ready? Here we go. Lorenzo, Slimy Pickle is in here. Slimy Pickle, Slime him just joined the chat. That's my smoothie dance. Okay, Lorenzo, I don't know. Lorenzo, were you around when Slimy Pickle was on here? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. The only signature I recognize is Meryl Dandridge. That was like my era. I will definitely take that off your hands. I definitely saw her in the show. If there's one thing Gen Z will do, it's buy any OG or near OG merch for outrageous prices. Good to know. Good to know. I have a lot of OG merch.
NCOG.
Okay, let's read. Is everyone ready to read chapter 27? Chapter 27. Ooh. 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 You guys. Oh, that really is sad, Anya. Next time. You have to do it next time. All right. This chapter is called The Sisters Grimm. Dun, dun, dun! I think we know where this is going, right? I know where this is going. Does anyone else know where this is going? Babe, do you know where this is going?
There's going to be words told that are sequential and that they form ideas.
I mean, that's probably true. Thank you for making me a smoothie. I appreciate it.
Yeah?
That's a good one.
Strawberry cherry.
Tastes banana-y.
Really? Those bananas we got must be really good. Whole Foods bananas.
Oh.
Usually bananas lose their flavor.
Grace wants to know if there's an egg in it.
There's no egg in it today, Grace.
Okay, I think Tiffany is correct. I think where we are going is irrelevant to yesterday's chapter. I think we're going to be with Bree going to find her family member that's related to the Brothers Grimm. She went like this, whew, with an emoji.
No. If you guys haven't tried it yet, crack an egg in your smoothie. Put like a little lemon on it if you're worried, and then smoothest smoothie you've ever had.
Smoothest smoothie. You guys can't see it right now, but right now at this very moment, see, your boyfriend has the swoopiest hair. It's so good. You have the goodest, swoopiest hair right now.
Let's see.
It's so good. I like it. Okay, let's read The Sisters Grimm. As far as Mrs. Campbell knew, Bree was spending the weekend at her friend Stacy's house. I was right. We are back with Bree. Yeah, he has boy band hair. It's totally true. Yeah. Yep. I love that you got the swoopy haired guy you dreamed of. I did. And when he goes to the barber to get his haircut, he tells them that if they cut the swoop off the front of his hair, that his girlfriend will come after them, so they're very careful.
It's true.
It's fine. Listen, we are what we are. He's like, don't touch the front. She'll kill you. Yes, ice cream swoopy. How is that possible, Becca? Oh. He's telling them that. Yes. I thought you were saying that from your perspective. I was like, there's no logic there. Yeah. No. Yeah. I got you. I was a little slow on the uptake, but I picked it up afterwards. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Even though Bree and Stacy hadn't been friends since 6th grade, Mrs. Campbell was so excited her daughter was socializing again, she didn't ask many questions. Little did Mrs. Campbell know, after only a week free from being grounded, Bree was already planning another great excursion.
Naturally, she thought of calling Cornelia Grimm first, but her phone number wasn't listed in any directory Bree found. She had no choice but to go to 1729 Mystic Lane, Willow Grove, Connecticut, and pray Cornelia was still living there. Bree planned the whole trip on her computer Thursday after school. She was so thankful for technology. She didn't know how kids managed to run away before the internet. She found the address of the sourdough factory the Storybook Grill bought from. Willow Grove was only a bus ride away, and Cornelia's house was roughly an hour's walk from the town center. Friday morning, Bree packed her bag with snacks and an extra change of clothes. As soon as the bell rang, she sprinted to the Storybook Grill and waited behind the dumpster in the back. Just like Iris has said, the delivery truck for Sam's New England sourdough arrived that afternoon. The delivery man was young and round and wore a white uniform with a red bow tie. He raised the back door of his truck and loaded the cart with boxes of bread. He rolled the cart down the ramp off the truck and into the diner. He took his time once he was inside. Bree peeked in the window and saw him flirting with Petunia. Bree figured this was her chance to sneak aboard the delivery truck. She found a small space behind the stack of damaged boxes and hid there. The delivery man returned 20 minutes later and locked up the truck, clueless of the additional passenger. The weird thing, Deborah, did Deborah have a weird hair thing? How do you wake up and look so good in the morning? I don't, it's a lie. It's all a lie. All I do is put my bangs down in front of my face so that you guys can't see my face. And then everyone's like, wow, your hair looks so good. And I'm like, all I did was I didn't even brush my hair. Oh, good. Yeah, no, it should be. Yeah, it should be over. Yeah, no, for sure. The delivery man returned 20 minutes later and locked the truck up, clueless of the additional passenger. He started the engine and pulled away from the Storybook Grill and headed back to the factory. Bree was on her way to Connecticut with no plan of how she would return. It took 2 days for the truck to reach the Northeast state. The delivery man stopped occasionally to eat and rest, but he was very determined to make it back in good time. Bree even heard him lying to a dispatcher about his estimated time of arrival. The worst part about Bree's journey was sneaking on and off the truck to find the restroom. She waited until the delivery man was either asleep in the back or eating in a restaurant. Every time she left the truck, she was terrified it would be gone when she returned. Despite it being stressful and cramped way to travel, it still gave Bree quite a thrill. She hadn't had such an adrenaline rush since she traveled around Europe with Connor. She just wished that he were with her to keep her company. Finally, on Sunday morning, the truck pulled into Sam's New England sourdough factory. As soon as the truck was parked, Bree raised the door from the inside and darted out. "Thanks for the ride," she said as she passed the delivery man. "Hey, how long have you been in there?" he yelled. "Come back here!" He was too slow to chase after her, and Bree ran to the nearest bus stop. She waited only a few minutes for the next bus to arrive. The bus drove into the small and quiet city of Willow Grove and dropped her off in the center of town. She pulled a map that she had printed out of her bag and followed it a little ways out of town, heading for Cornelia's house. The Connecticut countryside was a beautiful place for a walk. There were rolling hills of green trees all around her as far as she could see. Bree eventually found Mystic Lane. It was a wide residential street with large homes on a spacious lot. All the houses were elegant, but old. Some looked like they had been there since before the United States was formed. 1723, 1725, 1727. Bree read the addresses as she passed them, which brings us to 1729. The house had a tall hedge around its yard, making it much more private than the other homes on the street. Bree went through a small gate and stepped onto the front lawn. It was a large 2-story house with big windows and a wide front porch. The house was painted yellow and the front yard was covered in ornaments. There were colorful wind chimes, garden gnomes, bird baths, and a statue of fairies spread throughout the flower beds. It was very homey, and Bree felt comfortable here. Strangely comfortable. "Well, this must be it," she said to herself. Bree pulled out the old photograph of her grandmother and Cornelia. She held it up to the house and sighed with relief. It matched perfectly, like an old piece in a new puzzle. The house had been fixed up over the years, but Bree was definitely in the right place. She walked up the porch steps and knocked on the door. Bree's heart was racing. She prayed she hadn't traveled so far for nothing. A middle-aged woman with spiky red hair answered the door. She wore a maroon sweater and dangling ruby teardrop earrings. "May I help you?" she asked. "Hello, my name is Bree Campbell, and I was wondering if a woman named Cornelia Grimm still lived at this address." "Why do you ask?" "Well, I think we're cousins," Bree said. I was hoping that she could answer a few questions for me about our family. I'm sorry to barge in like this, and I didn't know how else to track her down. I traveled a really long way to get here.
Yes, Cornelia is here, she said. Come and I'll get her for you. My name is Wanda.
They shook hands and Wanda escorted Bree inside. Her spirits soared knowing Cornelia was still alive. Her journey hadn't been a waste. The house had floral wallpaper and white trim. There were very large vases of flowers placed on every surface. The walls were covered in framed photos, and not a single frame was alike. Each picture was of a different woman or groups of women who had lived in the house over the decades. Bree recognized one of the women immediately. That's my grandmother, Bree said, and she showed Wanda the picture of Cornelia and her grandmother. Wanda smiled at her.
Oh, you're Annalise's granddaughter, she said. Cornelia will be thrilled you've come to visit. Follow me. She's in the sitting room.
They entered a room filled with large, comfy furniture. There were at least 6 cats that Bree counted, but she assumed there were probably more in other parts of the house. Another middle-aged woman was sitting on a couch reading a book. She was plump and had dark hair that was graying at the temples.
Frida, this is Bree Campbell, Wanda introduced her. Bree, this is my cousin Frenda, Cornelia's daughter.
Hello there, Frenda said, surprised by the company. Hi, Bree said and shook her hand.
Aunt Cornelia, you have a visitor, Wanda said. This is Bree Campbell, Annalise's granddaughter.
Cornelia Grimm was seated in the back of the room. She faced an easel and was in the middle of painting a landscape of some kind. She turned to face the girls and Bree instantly recognized her. She was very old now, but she still looked similar to her grandmother's picture. She had long white hair down to her waist, and she wore red framed glasses, and a stylish silk scarf was wrapped around her neck. Cornelia was delighted to meet Bree. She retrieved her cane and stood to meet her.
Hello, child,
Cornelia said with a sweet smile.
What a lovely surprise. I was just thinking about your grandmother this morning.
Well, I'm so happy to finally meet you, Bree said. You're my grandmother's cousin, right?
Yes, Cornelia said. We were very close when we were young, but unfortunately lost touch over the years. Is she well?
Actually, she passed a few years ago, Bree was sad to share.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that,
Cornelia said with a sigh.
Well, she's in a better place now. What brings you to the house?
Bree hesitated, not sure how to put it. I found a letter you wrote to my grandmother with this address, and I have a lot of questions about our family, and since she's not around anymore, I was hoping that you could answer them for me. I would have just called you, but you aren't listed anywhere.
I hate solicitors, Cornelia said. We would be happy to answer any questions you have. Let's have a seat.
Cornelia sat beside Frenda on the couch. Bree and Wanda took the chairs across from them. The women were all ears. Bree could tell they were eager to hear what questions she had. It wasn't every day that a young woman appeared on their doorstep seeking help. Well, I suppose I should just start with the big question on my mind, Bree said. Grimm isn't a common name, so I was wondering if our family was related to the brothers Grimm.
As a matter of fact, yes, Cornelia said. Wilhelm Grimm was Annalise and my 4th great-grandfather.
Once again, Bree's spirits soared so high, she could have levitated into the air. This was the answer she was hoping to get, and everything made sense now. That's incredible, Bree said with relief. Are you from Germany as well?
My grandparents moved to the United States when they were young, but your grandmother was the first in her family, Cornelia explained. Before she met your grandfather, she came to live with us in this house.
Yeah, I figured as much from the letters, Bree said. I noticed all the photos of the women in the hall. Was this some kind of sorority house?
Sort of, Cornelia said. The first house belonged to my mother and her sisters. Many of our relatives lived here over the years, and a strong majority of them were women. I'm sure our neighbors thought we were a coven from time to time.
Cornelia, Frenda, and Wanda all shared a laugh, but Bree didn't join in with them. Instead, she eyed the women nervously. Are you witches? She asked in all seriousness. The room went very quiet. The women shared a look that gave Bree an unsettling feeling. There was definitely a secret among them. Sorry, I hope that wasn't rude, Bree said. Whatever you are, it's none of my business. Recently, I learned a lot about the Brothers Grimm, more than most people would believe, and I know the Grimm family had capabilities that other families don't.
Are you talking about the magic in our family's blood?
Cornelia asked. The hairs on Bree's arms suddenly stood up. Yes, she said. How do you know about that? All three women nodded.
It's a story that's been passed down in our family from generation to wrong voice.
It's a story that's been passed down in our family from generation to generation, Frenda said. The Brothers Grimm didn't write the stories they published, but they were given them by fairies from another world. In the early 19th century, the Grande Armée caught wind of this and tried to conquer it. So a fairy transferred magic from her blood into Wilhelm Grimm so that he could help the fairies trap the approaching army. That magic still runs through our family's veins today.
It's not enough magic to cast a spell or an enchantment, Wanda said, but we know it's inside each of us somewhere, and it separates us from everyone else in the world.
Bree stared at them in shock. She thought she was the only person in the other world who knew this story.
I'm curious how you knew the family secret before you knew that you were family, Cornelia said with a laugh. After your grandmother left this house, she was very adamant that she wouldn't tell her future children. Magic always frightened her. I'm assuming she changed her mind but left out some details in her explanation.
Don't forget to rewind your Sasha before you return her to Blockbuster. You guys, Blockbuster's in my next book. Yeah, after I finish this one. I mean, the next one I'm writing, after I finish the one I'm writing, not after this book. Although maybe Blockbuster's in the Brittany book, who really knows? No, Bree said. She never said a word about it. I found out completely on my own. It's a really long story, but last year I went into the fairy tale world. The women gasped and sat on the edge of their seats. This was a game changer, even for them. Bree was the first person they had ever known who traveled into the fairy tale world. You crossed over? Wanda asked. But how? Frenda asked. Bree told her relatives about her trip to Germany with her school and her adventures with Connor and Emmerich. She told them how they traveled into the fairy tale world through a portal inside of Neuschwanstein Castle. She explained that once she returned to the other world, she remembered hearing that Mother Goose had rigged the portal to trap any person of non-magical blood inside it for 200 years. Having magic in their blood was the only explanation of how Emmerich and Bree traveled through the portal so effortlessly, which led Bree to believe that she and Emmerich were descendants of Wilhelm Grimm. It was a long-winded answer, but the women were completely captivated.
How is your friend Connor related to the magic?
Cornelia asked. He and his twin sister are the fairy godmother's grandchildren, Bree said. Fascinating, Frenda said. Tell me about it, Bree said. They were the first children born of both worlds. Their birth somehow connected the two. Apparently the fairy tale world used to run a lot slower, but now the worlds are in sync.
How old are they?
Cornelia asked. Almost 15, I think, Bree said. What does that have to do with anything? None of them answered her. Knowing the twins' age sent Cornelia, Frenda, and Wanda deep into thought. I feel like there's something you're not telling me, Bree said. All three women stood.
I think we should show Bree the guest house, Cornelia said. It'll be easier to explain the sisterhood there.
The sisterhood? Bree asked.
Follow us, sweetheart,
Wanda said. The woman escorted Bree through the house and into the backyard. The lawn behind the house was just as decorated as the front lawn. There was a large guest house in the very back of their property. It looked like it may have been a barn before it was renovated. They went through the door and Cornelia flicked on the lights. The guest house was one enormous room with high ceilings. There was a large steel table at the very center and a row of desks in the back, equipped with computers, printers, and radio scanners. There was a wall lined with file cabinets and several built-in drawers and cupboards. A giant map of the world took up another wall, and hundreds of locations were pinned with colorful tacks. Bree looked around the room with curious eyes. Was this place your secret laboratory? She asked. Are you guys secret agents or something?
We call ourselves the Sisters Grimm, Cornelia said. Our sisterhood was founded in 1852 by my third great-grandmother, Maria Grimm. For almost 2 centuries, the women in our family have monitored magical phenomena occurring in this world.
What magical phenomena? She asked. Are you talking about the fairies that spread the stories? That and much more, Brenda said.
For a long time, our family believed we were the only people on Earth who had been exposed to magic and knew of the fairy tale world, Cornelia explained. However, we were wrong. When Maria Grimm took a closer look at history, she found our world's past is littered with instances where the two worlds have intersected. The fairies who spread the stories were just one of those instances.
But Connor's grandmother was the first and only person capable of creating portals between the worlds, Bree said.
According to our records and research, that isn't true,
Cornelia said. Wanda pulled down a large scrim. It was a timeline stretching back thousands of years, covering every era of known history.
We know the fairy godmother first showed up in this world somewhere in the early Dark Ages, Wanda explained, pointing to the middle of the timeline. However, there is evidence of crossover in the worlds long before she showed up.
Most ancient civilizations were influenced by creatures that are considered mythical today, Brenda said. The ancient people paid tribute to these people in their art, stories, and sometimes even worshiped them. Despite the obvious presence of these creatures, historians have labeled their existence as mythology, simply because they don't meet the biological standards of animals today.
Ancient Asia was majorly influenced by dragons. Europe is crawling with legends of fairies and trolls living in its forests, and Vikings claimed to witness merpeople as they sailed across the ocean. And that's only naming a few, Wanda said. Ironically, all these creatures existed in the fairy tale world at one point in time. It's more than just a coincidence, don't you think? Cornelia said.
So you're saying that thousands of years ago these creatures slipped through the cracks of the fairy tale world and wound up in our world? Bree asked.
Precisely, Cornelia said. But it didn't end there. Let's show Bree the carcasses.
They walked Bree to the built-in drawers and cupboards, and Wanda pulled the biggest drawer at the bottom open, and Bree screamed. Inside was the skeleton of a mermaid.
This was found on a Mexican beach in 1938, Wanda said, and these were found in Ireland in 1899.
She opened the drawer above it and showed Bree 4 metal trays with small fairy skeletons taped to them.
Luckily, whenever remains are found, most people think they're fake, Wanda said.
So how are these things getting into our world? Bree asked.
During Maria Grimm's research, she determined that roughly once a month, somewhere in the world, a doorway opens to the fairy tale world, Cornelia said. It lasts only a few seconds. Some people and creatures slip through, and sometimes they don't.
Since Maria learned this, every time a doorway opens, the Sisters Grimm have been present to make sure no harm comes to anyone, Brenda said. If someone or something enters our world, we keep it until the next doorway appears and do our best to release it back into the fairy tale world. Occasionally, a creature gets loose from us, Wanda said. Occasionally a creature gets loose from us, Wanda said. Perhaps you've heard of a few. There's a harmless water dragon living in Scotland who people call the Loch Ness Monster. A hairy ogre family has made a happy home in the North American mountains and Nepal. But you might know them better as Sasquatches or Yetis. How do you know where the doorways will open? Bree asked.
We've used the most powerful force our world has to predict the locations of magical occurrences, Cornelia said. Science.
Brenda picked up a yardstick and pointed to the tax pinned to the map of the world. We've marked the locations of every single recorded sighting of a doorway or a magical being that's entered from one, Brenda said. Notice a pattern? Bree studied the map, tilting her head to view it differently. If you connect the dots, it looks like a location of a perfect spiral around the world, she said.
Exactly, Wanda said. That's how we know where the doorway will open next.
And a new doorway appears every month? Bree asked.
Like clockwork, Cornelia said. Until 15 years ago, that is. We were waiting for the next location of a doorway, but it never appeared.
Why? Bree asked.
Well, because something happened 15 years ago. Perhaps it was because your friends Alex and Connor were born.
Cornelia said. Let's show her the diagram. Wanda turned off the lights and Frenda pointed a remote at the ceiling. Bree looked up and saw a large diagram she hadn't noticed before. It lit up and came to life. There were two small orbs, one blue and one green, circling a large yellow orb. It looked like two Earths orbiting the sun. However, the blue orb was circling much faster than the green one. Pretend the two dimensions are planets circling the sun, Cornelia said. The green one is the fairy tale world and the blue one is our world. Even though they move at different speeds somewhere in the cosmos, every so often their orbit crosses as they collide. The blue orb suddenly smashed into the green one. A few moments later, it happened again. It repeated until Frenda paused the diagram with the remote. We believe the fairy godmother was born during the exact moment of a past collision, giving her the ability to move between the worlds at will, Wanda said. The fairy godmother told the Brothers Grimm that the fairy tale world moved much slower than ours, and that information has been passed through our family since, Cornelia said. That's why the doorways only last a second to us, but they may last hours or days in the fairy tale world. Cornelia nodded to Frenda. She hit another button on the remote, and the orbs started moving around the sun at the same speeds. We figured something had caused the worlds to move at similar speeds when the doorways never showed up 15 years ago, Frenda said. But just because the worlds are moving at similar speeds doesn't mean they won't collide again and form another doorway. The green and blue orbs bumped into each other, and the moment of impact lasted much longer now as they circled at the same speeds. On the contrary, we're certain another doorway will form, Cornelia said, but this time it will stay open much longer, giving the people and creatures of both worlds plenty of time to travel between them. And do you think it'll happen? Bree asked. Oh, because time difference between the worlds was never fully understood, we can't make an accurate estimation, Wanda said. But based on the information we do know, we've created a chart that predicts it'll happen within the next 6 months. And where will the doorway appear? Bree asked. The women shared a distressed look. In the middle of New York City, Cornelia said. They had definitely done research to support their theory, but Bree had a hard time embracing it. An open doorway to the fairy tale world in the middle of one of the biggest cities on the planet would cause pandemonium. Connecticut offered Bree more information than she had ever dreamed of. This is a lot to digest, she said. Excuse me for a moment. I really need to call my friend Emmerich and fill him in. She took her phone out of her pocket. She had a dozen missed calls from her mother. Mrs. Campbell must have figured out that Bree wasn't at Stacy's house. Bree ignored the calls and dialed Emmerich's phone number. Hello? Bree said into the phone. Frau Himmelsbach? This is Bree Campbell, Emmerich's friend. Yes, the American. No, yes, that American one. I'm so sorry for calling so late, but no, Frau Himmelsbach. I think we have a bad connection because you sound like you're crying. What happened? No, where's Emmerich? Can you repeat that? Bree turned as white as a ghost and sat on the floor. Her hands began trembling so much she could barely hold the phone to her ear. Bree, what's wrong? Cornelia asked. It's my friend Emmerich, she said with wide, frightful eyes. He's been kidnapped. I can't even begin to think who kidnapped Emmerich. Because Lloyd isn't in the other world right now, is he? Who would do this? Who would do this? Who would kidnap Emmerich? That sweet boy. That sweet, sweet boy. We only have 3 chapters left, you guys. Maybe the army, yeah. I'm having a feeling that maybe we're not going to get a conclusion at the end of this book, and then it's going to continue into the next book, because how is he going to wrap this all up in 3 chapters? We only have 3 chapters left. it doesn't feel possible to wrap it up in 3 chapters. Right? Like, am I crazy? He has to get them all back from the various worlds they're in, conquer Lloyd and the army, and save Emmerich in 3 chapters. I guess that is 3 chapters, but like, and get Charlie back out of the mirror. Unless he's stuck in the mirror forever. I don't know, man. I don't know how he's gonna do it. The name of the next book is The Author's Odyssey. I did see Shelley's comment. Secret boyfriend, stop kidnapping children.
What did I do?
Did you kidnap Emmerich?
Who's Emmerich? See? I couldn't have done it.
All right. I'm gonna go. I got a lot. Liz says that's just what a kidnapper would say.
This is right.
Becca said the correct answer is I've never kidnapped anyone.
That's not the correct answer. That's what a guilty person would say.
All right, I'm gonna go because I have a lot of work to do today, but we do have class tonight. Today we are making white glue phloem in our slime instructionals. That is the November one that everybody, his name doesn't matter if you kidnapped someone.
What?
You know, I mean, like if you're asking a name, it implies that maybe there's someone else that you kidnapped.
Which one?
Uh-oh. Where do you suggest getting phloem? I suggest getting phloem from Amazon, or foam, the foam beads. Amazon is good. If you need to get them in a pinch, they probably have some at Michael's, but they're probably more expensive. So just get a small amount just for today and then get it long term. You can get it on Amazon or other places like that. Yeah. That is the whole kit and caboodle. Oh, Dollar Tree has them. Okay, Dollar Tree. Yeah. I will be on tonight for that class. The ingredient list, of course, is already up on Patreon waiting for you there. That's pretty much the whole thing. Guys, we're going to be done with this book, like, lickety-split. Wow, I can't believe it. All right. I'll see you all later. Bye.